Hey guys, my name is Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille. Welcome to our chainmail tutorial channel. Hey guys, a big hi, hello, welcome, how are you? I'm so pleased to see you here today. Thanks for popping in and spending some time with me. Alright, today I've got another weave tutorial for you. So this one's called AGSG. So it's a variant of the GSG or the Great Southern Gathering Weave. The A in this case stands for alternating. Alright guys, it's a simple weave. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So stick around and let's get on to it. Okay guys, so I've got some sample pieces here of AGSG Weave woven up for you. Coming up here on the side will be the ring sizes that I used to make up these sample pieces. They'll also be listed down in the description section that you can find underneath this video. But to go through them with you quickly, over here is the 1.6mm diameter wire, which is 14 gauge AWG. The ring size here is 5/16 of an inch or 7.94mm. Our 16 gauge AWG version 1.2mm diameter wire uses rings with an ID of 1/4 of an inch or 6.35mm. Now our 18 gauge, I've got two versions here. This one here with the coloured rings is 18 gauge AWG 1mm diameter wire with a ring ID of 3/16 of an inch or 4.76mm. Now I found this one to be a little too tight. It's not as flexible and free moving as the others. So it's not bad, but it is a little tight and not quite as flexible. So I did this also in 5mm ID, so slightly larger rings, and found that the flexibility for that was much better. So if you're looking for an ideal size, 5mm is probably better, but 3/16 can be used. It's just doesn't sit quite as nicely as the 5mm does. And then finally the 20 gauge AWG, which is 0.8mm diameter wire. The rings used here are 5/32 of an inch or 3.97mm. Okay, so obviously, as the name suggests, this is a GSG weave and we started off the same way. So pre-close 2 of your large colour 1 rings, which in this case are my bright aluminium rings. Close 2 of those, put them on a twist tie and slightly offset them so that the bottom one sits more to the right and the top one more to the left. And then you've got this overlapping here, which is called an eye. So we've got 2 main maneuvers in this weave. We go through the eye, which means we place the ring directly through both of these at the same time, or we go around the eye where we put the ring through one side, bring it around and put it through the other side so that when we close it, it encircles that eye, it doesn't go through it. So those are the 2 main steps that we need to do this weave. Okay, so to start with, just take up one of your opened rings, and first we're going to go through the eye. Okay, straight through the eye, nothing fancy. Closing it up, and we want that to sit to our right. We let it fall naturally to our right. Our next ring is going to go around the eye, so we just take that through one ring, bring it around and bring it up through the other ring. Okay, so you can see when you close that, it encircles those 2, encircles the eye. It doesn't go through it, whereas the other one underneath goes through it. Okay, so we're going to push our AA rings out so that they're sitting flat. And again, we're looking for that same eye. So it's a little bit smaller this time, but it is here, guys. We're looking for this eye here. So this time, our first ring, which I'm going to make in my brown aluminium, I'm going to put, so last time we put it through the eye first and then around the eye. This time I'm going to go around the eye first. Okay, close it up. And then my next ring I'm going to go through the eye. Okay, so straight through the eye there. It's a little snug, but it's easy to do. There's not a lot of space, but look, you're not fighting, you're really not. So it goes through the eye, we do that up, we close it up. And again, we let that fall to the right. So we've got our 2 new rings here. So these are our 2 new rings, and this is the eye here. So this is, as you can see, it's a little offset from the rest. And we're just going to start building our weave this way. So this time we want to go through the eye first and then around the eye. So through the eye, lay it to the right. The next one goes around the eye. Okay, and we're finished with that set. We push them forward a little bit so we can see this eye here out the back. Our next ring goes around the eye. And our second ring in this pair goes through the eye. Okay, so the pattern here is through the eye, lay it to the right, around the eye. The next pair, we go around the eye, then we go through the eye. The next pair after that, we go through the eye, we go around the eye. So whatever was the last maneuver on the previous set of rings becomes the first on your new set of rings. Okay, so our last thing that we did here on our bright aluminium rings, you can see it went through the eye. So on our new pair of rings, our first ring through the eye. And remember to, once you've closed it, to always lay it to the right side. Our next ring will go around the eye. Okay. All right, so we're done with that pair of rings. Our last ring was around the eye, and you can see that when you look back at these rings, the rings on the top is around the eye. So if you put this down and you've forgotten where you're up to, just look back to your previously completed pair and you can see around the eye. So our first ring that we need to place of our new set of rings is around the eye. So around the eye, close it up, and then our next ring is through the eye. Close it up. Now our last ring that we placed was through the eye, so when we do our next set of rings, we go through that eye. Okay, so we go working into the pair that we just placed. Through the eye, lay it to the right, take up a new ring, and it goes around the eye. Okay, so we finished that pair of rings. Around the eye was the last ring that we placed. So we want to go around the eye with our new set of rings. So working into the set of rings that we just placed, which was the gold ones in this case, we're going to go around the eye first. Okay. And then we want to place a ring going through the eye. So we squeeze it into there. There's not a lot of space there, but it's plenty to do what we need it to do. Okay, so through the eye, close it up. We're done with that pair of rings. Our next pair of rings, the last ring we did was through the eye on this pair, so our first ring this time is going to be through the eye. Working into the pair of rings that we just placed, we go through the eye first. Let it fall to the right and around the eye. Okay, and we're done with that pair of rings. So our next set of rings we just did around the eye. So our next set is going to go around the eye. So working into the rings that we just placed, always working into the rings that you just placed previously. We're going to go around the eye first, okay? You can see that we're not going through the eye there at all, we're going around it. And then we place one through the eye. And that's it, guys. It just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You just need to remember that pattern. Okay, through the eye, lay it to the right, around the eye. And then the next pair, around the eye, through the eye, lay it to the right. The next pair after that, through the eye, around the eye. So whatever was the last ring that was placed in the previous pair becomes the first ring in your new pair. And it is as simple as that, guys. And it creates this lovely, lovely weave. It's quite dense. But it really is quite spectacular. I do like it in multiple colors. I think that's where any of the GSG weaves shine, is when you use multiple colors with them. But there you go, guys. That's AGSG, Alternating Great Southern Weave. All right, my lovelies, that is it. That is the weave tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like the weave. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. Share our video on social media if you like. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider doing that for us. That would be fantastic. While you're here, don't forget to check out some of the other content on our channel. We've got heaps for you to look at. And last but not least, guys, our little shop link up in the corner. Give it some love and affection, because that's where we sell all the bits and bobs and you know what's. You're going to need to make up this weave and many of our other tutorials here. All right, guys, thanks once again for popping in, spending some of your day with me. Keep safe, keep well, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. All right, bye.